Hola, buenos días, soy Nico. And today we are here to talk about another fairly serious topic. This one is a little cold. Nico, this one is a little stale, but I didn't see any mainstream people like picking this story up, which I thought was wild because I heard about it when it originally dropped and I was like, okay, it's a bunch of the white girlies doing their extracurricular activities, and one of them went a bit too far. But the more it went on, the more the story began to unfold. It's extremely concerning, and I guess it revolves around PNP culture again, which I've dabbled on conversation wise. Nico, I only smoke my blunt. Which I've dabbled on conversation-wise in a video or two, but I feel like it's not addressed publicly as it should be. But before we get started on this dialogue, if you like this kind of content and you want to support the channel, make sure to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive lives with the videos, be a part of the podcast, which is airing. An episode went up yesterday at 1:30 p.m. If you like multifaceted LGBT conversations pertaining to the community, make sure that you check it out. I understand that sounded very robotic, girl. I have a lot of things jumble up in my head and I have to remember them for the conversation. But if you can't support the channel via Patreon, I would definitely appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. We officially hit 22K subscriptions. So thank you everybody for genuinely supporting the channel and helping me essentially follow my dreams. So once again, thank you very much. But moving on to the actual story, because I know you're not here just to hear me thank you guys. Today's story revolves around Cliff Jensen basically accusing Ricky Larkin of selling Roman Todd paraphernalia that caused him to be rushed to the hospital and diagnosed with first an overdose on fentanyl, but also respiratory depression, which caused him to momentarily pass away until he was resuscitated in the hospital.
Random tangent while editing. I'm sorry if you hear honking or music in the background. I don't have my mic to nullify the noise of New York. But I just remember that Ricky Larkin is the one that basically said the reason there aren't more black guys in the industry and in scenes is because there aren't enough attractive black men in the industry. I remember I covered that in a video a good minute ago, and I was looking at his face while editing. I was like, this man looks vaguely familiar. Where do I know him from? That.
And normally, like I said, PNP culture isn't really discussed, but this entire situation not only exposed these three people, but from the dialogue that follows suit, it exposed a lot more of the industry. Basically, after he was accused of this, Ricky Larkin went into the comments and said, Cliff, you were with Roman all day, and then he had that situation, so you can't really blame me. This is all on you, and you're lying about your sobriety. I could go get tested right now and prove that I'm not on anything, and this is all just a bunch of drama. Somebody then commented, if Roman is passed away, how is he supposed to respond? And Ricky basically said that Roman didn't pass away, and it turned out to be true because, like I said, he was resuscitated in the hospital, but the real tea comes in the situation that follows suit, because once Roman got back online and was in a steady condition, he began to expose Ricky via their text messages, where Ricky had denied selling him this paraphernalia. Roman showed the text messages of not only the prices, not only of what was available, but then the fallout that happened afterwards, where Ricky was basically saying, you're a junkie, you're on X, Y, and Z. This isn't my fault. It's because you took all of these in one combination and you shouldn't put this on me. And people in the industry have already told me that y'all are messy and y'all are drama and that we're not going to sell to you anymore. And there were also some jabs about being HIV positive, but I'm going to focus on the people in the industry already told me about you and nobody's going to sell to you anymore. meaning that this isn't just like a Ricky Larkin kind of thing. And that's unfortunate because I know back in the day, a lot of those performers that were performing have come out and said, yes, I was high on substances. Yes, I've had to get clean. Yes, I've had to like come out of that mind frame. And I really think that this is an epidemic within our community that we just don't talk about, because I've been in situations where I'll meet up with somebody. Nico, yes, every now and then I get frisky. Nico wants to have a little random, you know, super happy adult fun time moment. It's not as often as you would think, mostly because bitches recognize me and I really do not care to be on apps that often. But I've been in situations where I'll pop up and they're like, oh, y'all want to smoke? I'm like, sure, why not? And bitches bring out like a meth pipe. So it's not unheard of. And we've already talked about stories such as Matthew Rush, where he had to get clean, and even Cash Gennaro, who openly, which I appreciated, came out and talked about his struggle with sobriety and how he actually found sobriety through giving his life to Christ. Nico, I was surprised, but Cash Gennaro is one of the Jesus girls, and I'm not upset with him for it, for the sole fact that he doesn't let his religion cloud his mind frame about his sexuality. Cash Gennaro is still very openly gay and still supports gay people. It's just he has found a new meaning in Christ. If somebody finds a new reason to live, a new reason to be sobriety, a newfound faith that guides them to a better lifestyle, I'm not going to sit on here and harp on them. So I congratulate Cash Gennaro in particular, because that's an amazing move for his life. But as for the whole Ricky Larson, Roman Todd, and Cliff Jensen situation, I'm not necessarily surprised, for the sole reason that a lot of the girls are like, oh, you never see the white girls doing this, you never see the white girls being messy and going back and forth. And what I always have to tell people, because I usually cover black tea just because I'm black and I tune into black porn stars, white girls are just as messy. It's just that they're on code. Nico, what I mean by they're on code, they don't bring shit to the public. Like, I don't know what it is about the OnlyFans girls that be going online to argue on Big O and argue on Twitter Spaces. They're arguing. They're going back and forth. They're just as quote unquote doped up. It's just they don't talk about it. They don't put it out in the internet because they know it's bad for business. So that's what I mean by they're on code. But I'm glad that this situation happened in particular in the open, so that a lot more people can understand that this isn't just like a black gay thing. For the most part, the party favors was in the white gay culture. That was the white gay circuit. And then it dripped down into the black gay sphere. So point to saying, I want everybody to be safe. If someone tries to hand you pills, if someone tries to hand you something that you can't vet, don't do it. It's not worth it, especially because you're going to have serious complications afterwards. Like, a lot of people don't understand the damage that hard substances does to your body and how hard it is to actually get back on the straight and narrow. Because I've heard testimonies from people saying it's been 8 years and I still struggle every day, just because your body chemically changes to desire more of it. So anyone who is considering doing that or anything very rough, just, in my humble opinion, in my humble suggestion, it's not worth it. If anything, smoke your weed, maybe do your shrooms, do anything that's natural on earth. Do not put no chemicals into your body. My personal humble opinion. But yes, definitely drop your opinions down below. Did y'all see the big blowout? Because like I said, this is a little stale. It's a little cold brew. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I didn't see a lot of people actually talking about this. I'm like, these bitches are airing it out. They're talking about meth. They're talking about Oxycontin. They talk about like some heavy things, and nobody's addressing it. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'll be that bitch. But yes, I'll see you guys next time, and definitely drop your opinions down below. Boop. And a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Nathan P. and Jeremy A. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you for everyone who supports the channel. And this week's live stream will be over the normalization of PNP culture and the danger that it could possibly bring to the community. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in.